Hi guys, there are books, then there are movies, then there are movies which are made from books. As a book lover, I'm not very happy with the movies that are made from books, but there are a few movies which have been able to retain the spirit of the book and in some cases take it even further. So today I am going to talk to you about one such book and a movie. So the book is The Godfather by Mario Puzo, which was later made into a movie called The Godfather, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah, so let's start with the book. The Godfather was written by Mario Puzo in 1969 and it talks about this fictional mafia family, the Corleones. The Corleones are Italian American immigrants and they've come from Sicily and they make a mark for themselves and they make a name for themselves as one of the prominent crime families in New York in those days. And Don Vito Corleone is a patriarch and he's got 3 sons and 1 daughter. Santino was the oldest son, the second son Fredo, and Michael Corleone, who's the youngest, and then he's got a daughter Connie. So the book starts with Connie's wedding and that sets the tone. You know, the people who come there, the people who come to ask the Don for certain favors, you know, all these things let us know what kind of person this Godfather is. He's called the Godfather. So what kind of person is he and what is the influence that he wields among the police, among the lawmakers, the government, and we get a fair idea of how important he is. And later the author takes us along through the journey of this family and their ups and downs and the main people in the family and the people who come into the family. So there are these main characters, mainly the Don and his 3 sons. Santino, the older one, is very brash and very impulsive and hot-headed and has an eye for the women. The second one, Fredo, is very, very inefficient and is hardly given any importance in the family. The youngest son is Michael. Michael Corleone is a war hero and he stays far away from his family because he is not happy with the way things are done. He is not happy with the illegal activities that his father gets up to. So he stays away from the family, but he comes back for the wedding and Michael Corleone has a girlfriend who is not an Italian. And later we see how Michael changes, the changes that happen in Michael's life. We see how the Corleone family comes into conflict with the other important mafia families. And it's a very entertaining book. The prose is very clear, the narration is very clear and it's not difficult to follow the ups and downs and ins and outs of what's happening. And the author actually, makes us think about right and wrong. Who is right and who is wrong? And this is one of the earliest books which showed the bad guys in a good light, one of the earliest books which showed the mafia and in the inner workings of the mafia families, what happens within the families. And Don Vito Corleone is shown as a person rather than just a criminal or rather than just the head of a crime syndicate family. So he is shown as a father, as a husband, as a grandfather, and these are beautiful glimpses that we get about him. And then we see the influence the mafia has during those days and how they used to intimidate people. And you should realize that this is one of the earliest books which came out and which showed things happening within these families. And Mario Puzo did intense research before he wrote this because the mafias are very, very secretive and the mafia families are secretive and they don't let out what happens within them. So it is a very entertaining book and it's, it is like a movie actually. The book itself, it's fast paced. There's a lot of action and there's a lot of emotional scenes and the author has been able to, convey it, to portray it very beautifully. Then we come to the movie. So the movie was released in 1972 and it was directed by Francis Ford Coppola. It was produced by the studio Paramount Pictures and it had a brilliant cast. So what set the movie apart or what gave it that extra something which made it so beautiful was, I think, the casting was spot on and brilliant. Then there was the beautiful haunting musical score and of course the cinematography. Beautiful stuff, really brilliant. Then there's the singer Johnny Fontaine. So apparently it was modeled on, or the role was modeled, or the character was modeled on Frank Sinatra. And he was supposed to have links with the mafia during those times. So anyway, so Johnny Fontaine did not get an important role in the movie, even though in the book he is an important character and a lot of things happening. In the movie, he is just a small part. That is the only major difference that I have seen when it comes to characters. Other than that, Don Vito Corleone, played by Marlon Brando, my God, what a performance, you know. And he has given his own interpretation. The Don, you would expect the head of a mafia family, of a mob family, to be loud and very fierce, you know, very outwardly fierce. But Marlon Brando brought a quiet menace to the role. His voice is raspy, it's hoarse, and he does not move around too much, but he still is very intimidating. And he won the Best Actor Oscar for this role. Then there is Al Pacino as Michael Corleone, who was beautiful. I mean, the vulnerability of Michael, when the movie starts, Michael's vulnerability is on his face, that, you know, he is a very idealistic person, and that is shown on his face, and how it transforms and how he changes, and that becomes ruthlessness, and that is also shown so well by him. So Al Pacino as Michael Corleone, the younger son, then James Caan as Santinos, as the older son, Sonny. James Caan brought restlessness to the role. He hardly sits. When you look at it, he's hardly stationary. You know, even when he's sitting, he's constantly looking around, and you know, there's a lot of pent-up energy in him, and he brings that out. But I felt that was slightly different from the book. In the book, Santino is shown as a thug. Okay, he believes in physical violence, and you know, he's not not a very gentle kind of person. He's not a very refined person, but there is a refinement in James Caan in the movie. He is brash, he is impetuous, he is hot-headed, but there is a refinement in him that I found was different from what I had thought of the character in the book. Then there is the consigliere. The consigliere, Tom Hagen, is another important person, important character in the book. He is the main advisor to the family. He is an adopted son of the family, and in the movie he is played by Robert Duvall. Spot on, you know, spot on. What I had thought of as Tom Hagen is exactly what Robert Duvall was, and he became a star. And through this movie, there were a lot of stars made through this movie. Al Pacino, then Marlon Brando, whose career was not looking too good at that time, and so these are the main characters in the movie. Then there is Diane Keaton, who is Michael's girlfriend, Kay Adams, and she doesn't have much to do, but she's good in what she does. She's good. Two movies were made from the book: The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2. So The Godfather Part 3 was also released later, but that story was written later. It was not there in the book. So this was the movie, and it won the Best Picture, the Best Actor, the Best Screenplay, which was shared by Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo. Now I'd like to tell you something interesting about the making of the movie. In fact, Francis Ford Coppola, he was 32 at the time the movie was made, and he had a very difficult time during the making because there was so much of interference. In one interview, actually, he has said that there was downs and downs during the making of the movie. There was no ups. It was a nightmarish situation for him. The studio was interfering in everything, and even Al Pacino's role. The Paramount Pictures, they did not want Al Pacino. They thought that he was too short, and they kept making him do screen test after screen test until Francis Ford Coppola put down his foot and said, no, I want this person. And then he had to work out a deal with the studio, and he accepted James Caan as Santino, when in fact he wanted somebody else. So, but that worked out for the better. And Francis Ford Coppola himself, in fact, did not want to do the movie, because he read the book and he realized that it was a potboiler, an entertainer, and he had thought about it as more of a serious look at the mafia families, and he did not want to do it. But at that time, he was running an independent production company with George Lucas and a few others, and they were heavily in debt, and it was George Lucas who was instrumental in convincing him to do this movie for the money. So another interference was from the mafia families, or from the crime syndicate in New York in those days, and they came forward and said they did not want the word mafia to be used in the film. And you'll see that that word is not used at all. It's either the mob or the company or the family. The word mafia is not used at all. Another thing is the film was shot on location in Sicily and New York, and the studio didn't want that actually. It was Francis Ford Coppola put on a suit and said, no, we have to make it more authentic by shooting it on location. So the director had to face so many obstacles during the making of this movie, and he was fed up by the time it was finished. But once he had agreed to take it on, now, he maintained this notebook in which he had written all the notes of filming, of his take on the characters and how he wanted to show them, and so many copious notes in detail. And it was, he called it the Godfather Notebook, and actually it's available on Amazon if you look, if any of you are interested in it. It's called the Godfather Notebook. I'm sure it's going to be a fascinating read, 720 pages of notes written by Coppola himself. So that was Godfather the book and Godfather the movie, both of which are really good. Of course, my first love is the book, but I must say that this movie is so good. So I'll come back to you with more books, maybe a movie in between like this, which there are movies actually which are really good, which have been able to, convey what the book is talking about very beautifully. So I will come back to you with a movie. I will come back to you with another book. Till then, you guys have fun, watch movies, read books, and enjoy. Bye.